I think we're on page 26, is that correct? Sounds good? It's a good number, 26. Yud Kei Vav Kei. Bum bum bim bum bum, diddy dum bum bye, diddy die. Rachel, if you have a minute or two after the shir, I need to ask you something. Okay. So, Hatikun Shel Purim, page 26. So we started learning this yesterday, didn't we? Yeah. So actually we're on 27. So just briefly to repeat, it was saying that all emotions are holy if they're used properly. Because after all, part of the creation is the emotions that Hashem created you to experience. So Gaiva, pride, has a holy side and an unholy side. Anova has a holy side and an unholy side. And you need to know when to have holy chutzpah, and you need to know when to have holy anava, holy humility. So Purim, there's a great light that's shining, and that it's sort of like tells us when when to have pride, when to have another. Then Reb Shlomo went on, and the last paragraph that we read, that Reb Nachman says that sadness is the worst poison, the worst spiritual poison that there is. Now, it's actually, there's usually they translate atzvut as sadness, but more correctly is depression. In other words, the fact of the matter is that if somebody loses a dear person, a dear friend, or whatever, of course they're going to be sad. It would be ridiculous to say somebody at the door. It would be ridiculous to say, don't be sad. The difference between sadness and depression, is that sadness, you're sad because something. Hi. You're sad because there was something went wrong. There's a book here, and that somebody passed away. Okay, of course it's sad. Depression is, look at what the world has done to me. Look at all these things all these terrible things that are done to me. Like it's all about yourself. Sadness can produce, or like the Alter Rebbe uses the word bitterness. It can motivate you to do something positive, but depression, on the other hand, God forbid, is like a prison. It's like a prison. It's when people are depressed, they don't want to get out of bed. They don't want to do anything, and then they they say, oh, don't it's not my fault. I'm depressed. I'm depressed. It's really a dangerous thing.
When people are sad, don't they do the same thing?
No, a person could be sad, but you go on with life, and you try to make things better. You're not arrested by the sadness. But so you got to be careful. Watch out, not to let it slip into depression. Okay, we're on page 27. Rabbi Nachman Omeir. Right. The Yetzer Hara uses sadness and depression as his biggest weapon. Oh, you're not happy anyway, so why don't you come with me? I'll take you to a party. You'll be happy. I'll take you. You'll come. You'll do this. You'll do this. You'll do that. You'll be happy. But it's all his advice is just more sadness. Okay. Your mother let you come? Your mother let you come? Okay. Okay.
So there's work the other way too with simcha. The simcha, the opposite of sadness or the depression.
Is it the opposite? Yeah, for sure.
So if one is sad, when one motivates oneself to be the simcha, so the sadness goes away.
Yeah.
Depression works the same way.
You can get out of depression. for sure.
Okay.
So Rabbi Nachman Omer, bottom of 27. Rabbi Nachman Omer שישנם נימוסים שהשורשים שלהם מהסטרא אחרא, מהרע של העולם. There are manners that are rooted in the sitra achra. Sitra achra literally means the other side. Okay? And in other words, just like like you can only see light when there's darkness, right? You have to have shadows to be able to see light. You have to have an other side in order to be able to recognize kedusha, right?
What does it say?
Manners. Manners, yeah. So there are manners that are coming from the other side, meharash shel haolam, from the evil of the world. Nimusim eila, these manners, hem nimusim chaschei mashmaut mamash, they have no meaning. כשהגרמנים יימח שמם הזמינו את היהודים לתאי הגזים, when the Nazis יימח שמם were inviting the Jews to go into the gas chambers, הם תמיד אמרו בבקשה, they would say, please move ahead, keep the line moving. מדוע אתה אומר בבקשה? Why are you saying please? מדוע אתה מעמיד פנים כאילו שאתה מתורבת? Why are you putting on a face to make yourself look like you're a cultured person? יש נימוסים שהשורש שלהם הם בתוך הרע של העולם. There are manners that are the root is in the evil of the world. יש גם נימוסים טובים ואמיתיים. Then there's also good and truthful manners. נימוסים טובים וקדושים, and there's holy manners. כשמישהו נכנס בפתח הבית, אני יכול להגיד, when somebody comes into the doorway, I can say, אני ממש שמח לראות אותך. I can say, I'm really happy to see you. מטעמי נימוס, because it's a manner, it's a good, nice manners. אבל לגמרי בלי משמעות, I could say it and it has no meaning. בלי כוונה, ואני כוונה. כמו כן, אני יכול להגיד את זה כשאני מתכוון לזה ממש, and I can also say it with complete כוונה, and I really mean it. Right? It's like in the world, hi, how are you? Please don't tell me. You just expected to say that, right? Or like one of the things I learned early on my trips to America. Oh yeah, I'm going to call you. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. Okay? בפורים אנו משתכחים לפי כללי הנימוסים איננו צריכים להשתכר באמת. Purim we get drunk, but it's not such good manners, right? אבל איזה סוג נימוסים אלו? What kind of manners are those? זה תלוי באיזו רמה אנחנו משתכחים. It depends on what level you're getting drunk. בפורים אנחנו שיכורים קדושים, and Purim we're holy drunkards, ממש שיכורים קדושים, really holy drunkards. אם בפורים אתה לא בדרגה הכי קדושה, if in Purim you're not mamish on the highest level of kedusha, אז באמת אין לך זכות לשתות, so then you don't really have any right to drink. בפורים אנו שוברים את כל הנימוסים של העולם, Purim we're breaking all the manners of the world, אנחנו נהיים אמיתיים and we become real. אם אתה אמיתי, if you're real, אתה יכול לשתות ואתה עדיין להיות אמיתי. עדיין להיות אמיתי. If you're real, you can drink and still be real. עדיין להיות קדוש, and you still can be holy. אם אתה בדרגה של נימוסים של רוע, but if you're on the level of evil manners, ואתה אפילו לא שיכור, even if you're not drunk, ואתה יכול לנאום או להגיד את כל הדברים המגעילים ביותר, you can give a speech and you can say the most disgusting things in the world.
Excuse me. If one cannot hold one's liquor, then one should not drink wine?
No, he didn't say that. He said, Rabbi Shfink was giving a shir last week on Thursday. There's a big machlokes whether you should drink on Purim or not.
Yes.
So you were there. If you might need to have a designated driver to watch over you, sometimes you just better off just go to sleep before you insult somebody or something like that, And
there's a machlokes between to get mamish.
Yeah, it's a machlokes.
And not to get them.
Yeah, it's a machlokes. We'll see how you paskin this Purim. Okay.
As each year goes by, I get more into it. And this is the first year I'm watching how I can't hold my liquor at all. Under the chuppah, I took one drink and I was mensch.
Okay. Purim אנחנו שוברים את הנימוסים, Purim we're breaking the manners, ואנחנו משתכחים, we're getting drunk, אולי אנחנו לא מנומסים ונראים אולי קצת דורכים, maybe we're not very polite, maybe we seem to be a little bit off the wall, so to speak, אבל אנחנו ברמה גבוהה ביותר, but we're really on the highest level. מה ההבדל בין שיכור רגיל לבין שיכור קדוש? What's the difference between a regular drunkard and a holy drunkard? שיכור קדוש, כשהוא רואה 10 אנשים נראה לו שיש 100. I'm sorry, שיכור לא קדוש. And not holy drunkard, when he sees 10, he thinks he sees 100. כשהוא רואה מיליון, הוא יגיד שהוא רואה 10 מיליון. He sees 1,000,000, he's going to say he sees 10 million. But שיכור קדוש רואה רק אחד. A holy drunkard just sees one. Shum davar acher, he doesn't see anything else. He just sees the unity, he sees the unity, he sees the unity. Right? That's the avodah, is to, you know, to see the one, to see the unity. Somebody coming in?
Yeah, in the kitchen. I'm waiting.
She went to the kitchen first?
The kitchen. She asked about Judy.
Oh, what's her name? Oh, hi. Judy's upstairs.
There you
go. So he says that Yesh Melchama Gedola, third last line on 28. Yesh Melchama Gedola Melchama Shel Hatov Neged Hara. There's a war between good and evil. Yom Echad Bashana Inenu Melchama Neged Hara. One day in the year, we're not fighting against evil. Yom Echad Bashana Ein Ra Ba'olam. There's one day in the year where there's no evil. Yom Echad Bashana Anu Magiim LeDarga Shel Hayom Shel Achar HaMelchama. One day in the year, we get to the level of the day after the war, right? Yud Daled Adar is the day after the war. Hayom Hazeh Purim.
What is the word?
LeDarga. Darga, Madrega. Level. היום הזה הוא פורים, אבל רק האנשים העוסקים במלחמה כל השנה יכולים להבחין מה העניין של פורים. But only people who are involved in this war against evil all year long can understand what Purim is about. אם אינך לוחם נגד הרע כל השנה, if you're not fighting evil all year long, ובפורים אתה פתאום אומר שאתה רוצה לקפוץ לתוך פורים, and Purim, you say, you just want to jump into Purim, then as ma ta mevin, what do you understand? If the evil looks good to you all year long, so what are you celebrating? What we're celebrating on Purim is no evil. But if you like evil, at whatever level you might like it at, you don't really have what to celebrate in Purim. You don't really have a part in it. So how do you fight against evil? First of all, the first thing is you have to know that there is evil in the world. You have to remember the Damien Shedmol Haiti Ra. Let's say, for example, yesterday I was bad. And I promised myself that I would be good. Until the next morning, I forgot what I promised. Shachachti kamarahi agashti kishasiti ra. I've forgotten how badly I felt after having done bad. Ani tzarich leskor lefachot ktsat. I at the very least have to remember a little bit. Purim zeh hachag hagadol shel hanashim hazochrim. Purim is the great holiday of those who remember. Hanashim hazochrim hem elu halochamim et hamilchama hagdala neged hara b'chol yom. The people who remember, they're the ones who are fighting this great war against evil every day. Hem be'emet zochrim. They really remember. So, you know, when we were young, if you remember, like the first time that we did something bad, we probably felt pretty lousy. The second time, maybe not as much. And the third time, we already compromise and we say, that, that's the way it is, right? That's the way it is, you know. A little bit of lashon hara, nicht gefährlich, right? A little dishonesty here, not so bad. A little using somebody, not so bad, you know. After all, that's the way the world is, and so on. So if a person's made compromises to that point, and then they don't even think about it anymore, like, you know, they don't even it's just sort of like it's just accepted. So if someone's saying this, then what are you celebrating in Purim? Purim is about celebrating when there's no evil anymore. You know? It's like, you know, Purim is very serious. See how serious it is? Somebody else wants to come in and hear about it. You know? But Purim is very serious.
You mean on Purim we need to do cheshbon?
No, that's Yom Kippur. Don't worry about cheshbon and nefesh. But in getting ready for Purim, a chumash, this what? Yeah. The chumash and the bima don't have tamim. Oh, you printed at the beginning. I don't know. Try to get me chumash. Right here, the brown ones here. Right here, right in front of your face. Have a look, yeah. So he says that, here you can also take this. Yeah. Okay. There might be some papers in there, be careful they don't fall out. You know, in the last few weeks, I've been having the experiences of flashes of the past, you know, have been coming up. You know, of things, I did this, I did that, you know, things that mamish for years I forgot about, and when that happens, like, you know, it's like Hashem is saying, you know, oh, you know, you want to come a little bit closer, like, you know, did you do tshuva on this yet? Did you do tshuva on that? Did you do tshuva on that? So it's and if, you know, if you still remember those things, like, you know, thank God that these things come back up as flashes in our memory. So at least, you know, you have a chance to do something about it. If you wouldn't remember it all, you wouldn't even have a chance to do anything about it. You know.
To give you a little chizuk on this. Yeah. I one time came to you, or twice, and I said that thing which I've done tshuva before, why is it coming up now? And you said to me that you're in a different madrega now. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're in a different madrega too. Yeah. What he's saying is that you got to know two things. You got to watch out with Michal. He remembers everything I said. Baruch Hashem. And celebrate the thing we didn't have to remember, so you can celebrate too.
So you know, like, let's say for 15 years you didn't speak Lashon Hara, Now all of a sudden we got this urge to speak Lashon Hara, right? So the Yetzer Hara is going to come and say, you see, all that tshuva that you did is really nothing. You're still my customer. But what you need to know is, A, the tshuva that you did is real tshuva. And the reason that it's coming up again is for one of two possibilities. One is that you're, like Michal says, you're on another madrega, you got to up the tshuva, like make it a deeper tshuva. And secondly, it's apparently been decided in Shemayim that to open the gates for you to go into a higher level, let's say consciousness, okay, whatever. But before you can get in, you have to like redo your tshuva in a better way. But don't buy into the idea that, oh, because I'm being tempted again, that means that my tshuva wasn't good. Your tshuva was good. It was good until now. So he says like this. There's two kinds of love that Hashem has for us. The first kind is you're getting exercise today, Hashem. The first kind is a contracted. It's a symptom. It's a limited. Welcome. Come sit down. It's a limited love. It's mitzumtzam, right? It's bigvulot. It's got its limitations. Let's say, for example, I love somebody because they do everything that I asked them to do. So then I love them in a limited way because they're doing what I asked them to do. So I love them. Understand? If they wouldn't do what I asked them to do, so then I wouldn't be loving them, right? The second love, she's really getting exercise today. The second love is. The second love is that I love somebody not because
what they can do for you.
Huh?
You're teaching now. Okay.
It looks like it.
Okay. So I'll catch you some other time for the chlorophyll thing.
Was it?
Chlorophyll thing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not so urgent. What do you?
Okay, so and I come back later, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Just like
אני אגיד לך משהו. אפילו שאם היא תיקח איזה עלי ירוק ולשמור את זה בתוך הפה, זה מלא כלורופיל גם כן. Okay? So there's another love that I love the person not because they're doing what I asked them to do, but אולי הוא אפילו לא עושה כל מה שאני רוצה. No, he just went out now. Was there another knock? Maybe we should give the class at the door.
Yeah.
Or maybe we should start giving the tensions. Okay.
Wow.
So then there's the other love where maybe the person isn't doing what I want them to do. But I just simply love him. So Yom Kippur, Hashem ohev otanu b'glal shanu omorim l'Hashem. Yom Kippur, God loves us because we're saying to God, Asinu dvarim lo tavim, anu רוצים להיות יותר טובים. We've done things that weren't good. We want to do better. Anu mitvadim, we're confessing. Page 30. Anu mavtichim sheniyeh yoter tovim. We promise that we're going to be better. אנחנו מתחייבים לעשות כל מה שאמר לנו השם לעשות, and we're taking on the obligation to do whatever God told us to do. Zematok v'kadosh. It's holy, it's sweet and it's holy. It's not the high. It's not the highest of the high. בפורים, השם מזרים לתוכנו את האהבה הגדולה שאינה קשורה בכלל לעובדה אם אנו עושים את רצונו. Purim is, Hashem is sending down a flow of love, of such great love, that is not at all connected to whether we're doing His will or not. Hu pashut ohev otanu. Hashem simply loves us. Ze me'ever lahavana shelanu. It's beyond our understanding. בגלל זה אנחנו צריכים להיות שיכורים בפורים, and this is the reason that we have to be drunk on Purim, כי אנו צריכים להשיג את הדבר שמעל לדעה שלנו. We have to get to the place that is beyond our conscious knowledge. אנו צריכים להיות מעבר לדעה שלנו. We have to be beyond our consciousness. האהבה הגדולה של השם שיורדת בפורים, the great love of God that's coming down on Purim, איננה בגלל שעשינו נכון, it's not because we did what was right, אלא רק בגלל שהוא אוהב אותנו. It's only because He loves us. זה מעבר, it's beyond, זה מעבר לכל הבנה, it's beyond our understanding. הרע רק יכול להגיע לדרגה של אהבה, למקום שבו אנחנו מדברים על עשיית רצון השם. Evil can only go so far as the level of love that is dependent on whether we did or we didn't do God's will. Evil can cause us not to do what God wants. But the light of Purim is coming from a place which evil cannot reach. There's definitely some typos here, but I'm just explaining it as best as possible. אבל הרע לא יכול להגיע לאהבה גדולה שאינה קשורה לעשיית רצון השם. Evil cannot reach the place of this great love which is not dependent on whether we did God's will. הרע לא יכול להגיע אל האהבה הזאת. Evil cannot affect that love. בפורים האהבה הגדולה הזאת כל כך גדולה, on Purim this love is so great, עד שאין רע, takes us to a place where there is no more evil. אין שום דבר שמפריד בינינו ובין השם, there's nothing that's interfering between us and God. כלום, nothing. אני יכול להיות שיכור, I can be drunk. He wants some exercise too. So on Purim, nothing is separating between me and God. And I can be drunk, hide of it. I can be drunk, and I can be the most rejected person in the world, but who cares? Give out. So there's a big argument among philosophers. Is a human being capable of achieving altruistic love? You know what altruistic love means? Loving for no reason, right? If you think about it, most of the love that we have for one another is pretty much because of a reason, right? Question is, can you reach that level of loving for no reason?
A parent can do that.
A parent
Maybe
can do that, and I've been told that most philosophers are of the opinion that human beings cannot do that. The Gemara, the Tanya quotes the Gemara at the end of the first chapter of the Tanya. The Gemara says that all the good that the Gentiles do is legarmayu avdu. They're doing it for their own benefit. Now, this is not a negative statement. This is basically saying that the Gemara is of the opinion that people cannot really achieve altruistic love, but a Jewish neshama can, and at the very least, you at least have to believe that you can. Even if you're not on that madrega right now, you have to at the very least believe that it's something that's possible. Okay? We spoke about this here and there in the last couple of weeks. We spoke about the whole thing of Ad Lo Yada. So Ad Lo Yada, Bein Aru Haman Baruch Mordechai, right? What does that mean? Like, it's like a nice thing. Oh, Ad Lo Yada, right? But what does that mean, Ad Lo Yada? Like, what does it mean the day after Purim? Okay? What, hangover. Right? What does it mean the day after Purim? What does it mean today? What does Ad Lo Yada mean today? Ad Lo Yada means today means that we have such a Havat Yisrael that is not for a reason. It's altruistic. It's like, like that I don't need a reason to love you. We're part of the one of Hashem. Now, do you need a reason to love your foot? Do you need a reason to love your nose? Right? Do you need a reason to love your stomach? This Reb Levi Yitzchak once went over to a chassid and they put his hands on his stomach and he said, Shalom Aleichem Shabbos. And the chassid said, what? That's my stomach. So he says there, but you're always going to the Kovet Shabbos. The Kovet Shabbos, always patting your belly when you say the Kovet Shabbos. Obviously, your stomach is Shabbos, Anyway, the Ad Lo Yada is like, okay, like, I like you, you're a great guy, but the fact is that, most likely I like you because you're doing me favors and because you tell me, because you make me happy, because whatever it is, it's a reason, right? Ad Lo Yada is mamish, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all, right? And it's to be able to love, like, like Reb Shlomo used to be able to walk in the streets of Manhattan, and he'd hug the filthiest, smelliest homeless people with no hesitation whatsoever. I saw it with my own eyes. People that you would, like, you would be praying that there should be a strong wind blowing the other way,
What you do?
He would hug the mamish people like that, like, like the most disgusting looking people, and without any hesitation. There was no. And he'd give them money, and he'd give them clothing, and there was no hesitation. He didn't hug you or me any sooner than hugging a homeless person.
I heard that at his funeral in New York,
I told the story.
Yeah. There were many non-Jewish people there.
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
So in other words, that's a madrega. That's like it's a real high level, and like, or take for example, like, Rabbi Jonathan Sachs gave this great talk. He was the keynote speaker at the Chabad Shluchim convention about 3 or 4 years ago. You can see his speech online at Chabad.org. So there are Chabad Shluchim in places that I don't know if you would want to be there more than an hour.
Yeah, right.
In towns that there's nothing to see even for 10 minutes, and the goyim that are there are still quite anti-Semitic. But there's a yid there that needs something Jewish. The shaliach goes. Thank you. The shaliach goes, right? And so he said that he says that this was the Rebbe's response to the Nazis. The Nazis, if they heard there was a Jew hiding 50 miles away, they went after that one Jew, right? So the Rebbe's response was, if there's one Jew 500 miles away, we're going to send a shaliach. That's an amazing thing, like, because usually it's tragic. Like there's an expression in Yiddish, "Es nicht von unsere." He's not from our crowd. Like it's everybody's just sort of like you care about your family, you care about maybe your circle of friends and this and that and so on, but do you care about some Yid that's up there in the Shomron or in Afula or right on the border with Syria, like or in Sderot. Kamoicha, right? So what Reb Shlomo is saying is that we were talking about if you're not battling against evil all year long, then you don't really get what Purim is about. Now, so like there's madrigas. There's one madriga battling against evil is that never, Chaim Yankel is always going around insulting people, and he's really battling. He's really in a battle to stop insulting people and so on, right? So Baruch Hashem, for us, I imagine that we're beyond that battle. I don't think that, I don't imagine that any of you are going around insulting people. But the battle might be on the level of how much am I thinking about the kids in Tel Aviv who have so little connection, right? I was reading yesterday a letter that the Rebbe sent to somebody back in 1965, and apparently somebody started this project where they went out and distributed thousands of packages of mishloach manot with a couple of coins in them to give to kids, that they should give to each other mishloach manot and matanot levyanim, right? And Rebbe was like writing thanks to this person, to this shaliach who started this project. He's saying, you mamish, like you reached hundreds and thousands of kids who never had ever done these mitzvahs, right? So honestly speaking, even if you're not a Lubavitcher, okay, are you on the level that do you think about, you're walking in the street and you see a non-religious brother or a non-religious sister, do you think of, I would like this person to have the opportunity to do a mitzvah? It's a whole other consciousness. Understand? It's a whole other level of consciousness. Okay? You think that Reb Shlomo went to these far-flung places, and believe me, he went to far-flung places. He even came to Montreal. Okay, and one night he came to Montreal, like he wasn't even feeling well, and Julie used to be on the phone for 3-4 weeks inviting people to make sure that people are going to show up and come. And I remember that one night counting Judy and myself and Reb Shlomo, we were all of 10 people. He didn't say boo at all. And he even paid his, we hardly paid him. And he paid his own airfare and so on. And when I came to the next time to inviting him, he didn't say anything about, are you going to make sure that there's going to be more people? Are you going to, no. He's doing his avodah, whether it's for one person, whether it's for 1,000 people, he's doing his avodah. There's a story, David, you probably know the story, it's in print, that, and what I'm illustrating is levels of beyond evil, okay? So one day Reb Shlomo is walking in the street and in Manhattan, and he sees this woman, and he sees like something's really wrong. Somebody that he knew. So he stopped her, he said, what's going on? She says she's on the way to the river. She's going to jump into the river, the Hudson. That's the river there, the Hudson, right?
The bigger river.
And because she just came back from the doctor, and she had been diagnosed a while ago, and the doctor told her, She doesn't have more than a certain amount of time to live. And she decided she's not waiting. She's not waiting. She's not waiting to suffer through the whole geschäft and everything. Anyway, Shlomo immediately embraced her, and he's standing there and holding her in this, embracing her in the street, trying to give her some energy. And this must have gone on for maybe 10 minutes till he restored her will to live. In the meantime, this rabbi was walking by, this rabbi of a shul that Reb Shlomo was supposed to be giving a concert at on Lag BaOmer. Shlomo noticed the rabbi walking by. When he got back to the shul, he wasn't surprised that there was a message there was a message from the rabbi. The concert has been canceled. Okay. Anyway, later that day, he gets a call from a rabbi in upstate New York that Moshe Yesel of Shalom was supposed to give a concert on Lag BaOmer, and Moshe Yes was living in Montreal. He slipped, he broke his foot, and he called up the rabbi to cancel. And he said to the rabbi said, "So what are we going to do?" So he says, "Well, maybe." So he says, so a couple hours after he had that cancellation, he calls up Reb Shlomo. So the rabbi says to him, "Well, how much do you charge?" So Reb Shlomo says, "Look, he was supporting the Mosham day and night and everything. He says, I need $3,000. The rabbi says, oh, we haven't budgeted that much. So Reb Shlomo says, look, there's still a couple of weeks till Lag BaOmer. I'll tell you what you do. Advertise like crazy. And whatever is going to come in above your expenses, up to $3,000, that's what you'll pay me. If you get more than 3,000, you'll keep the difference. If there's less, I'll take the difference." Anyway, the concert was a big success, and Rabbi was very, very happy that he was able to hand Reb Shlomo an envelope with $2,800. Baruch Hashem. After the concert, there were always people waiting to speak to Reb Shlomo. And among the people waiting was like a young guy, maybe 30-ish. It was obvious that he was about Shuvah guy. And he is waiting, he's letting everybody go in front of him. He wants to be the last one to talk with Reb Shlomo. Finally, everybody else is gone, and this story was told by somebody who was watching this whole geschäft. He's speaking to Reb Shlomo. Reb Shlomo says what's going on, and he tells him that he's married and that they're having trouble because he works in computer industry. He takes care of big mainframe machines. And ever since he's become a Shomer Shabbos, he basically goes from one job to another job because as soon as he gets a call to come in for Shabbos and he doesn't take it, they fire him. Because these big machines, they don't care if you're Shomer Shabbos or not. These they charge by the nanosecond. So he says, I never he's out of a job and they have debts and this and that, and it's affecting the Shalom Bayis. And the person who related the story, who witnessed it, he couldn't believe it. Shlomo put his hand into his pocket. He took out the envelope with the $2,800. He gave him the whole envelope, gave him a kiss on the forehead, and wished him the best. L'chaim u'v'shalom. Okay? Understand? That's an aspect of ad lo yada. Understand? There's no halacha that tells you that you need to do that. You could have taken out and given him $280, given him the meiser. You know what I mean? You could have given him $500, could have given him $100, whatever it is. But the mamish ad lo yada, and it was clear to him that the whole point of him coming to upstate New York and doing this concert and so on was so that he should be able to give this guy all the money. So that's what we're talking about is that if you really are battling to evil, if you're battling, and like I said, it's not that you're battling like, like, oh, I don't want to do this avera anymore. Even if you're beyond that, but my heart is still not open to everybody. My heart is still not open to, like, like to the person that doesn't look so great or doesn't, like, it looks like a real schmendrick or whatever it is. And you care about that, and you remembered it, that like, like you've still got work to do. Then Purim is going to be a real Purim. That's what Reb Shlomo is saying. But if there's no struggle with evil whatsoever, and when I say whatsoever, I don't mean that that you're that anybody's a bad person. I'm just saying, but if you just sort of accept the compromises, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, so then and you don't even remember what you did, you don't even remember that you offended somebody or anything like that. So then Purim is a nice party, it's a nice celebration, it's beautiful, but it's not the day after the war. You're not yet ready to celebrate a world that there's no more evil. Okay? So he says, we're on page 30. Madua, the bottom paragraph. Madua kishadam shikol eno yachol lamod al haraglayim eno yachol halechet. Why, when somebody is drunk, can they not stand on their feet or can't walk? Because yesh darga shel avodat Hashem kishani yameid b'fnei Hashem. There's a level of serving God by standing before God. Shani holech b'derech Hashem, because I'm walking in the path of God. Yesh darga, there's a level kishafilu ineni holech v'ani afilu lo yachol lamod. There's a level of serving God where I'm not even walking and I can't even stand. Bless you. And yadayin ovedet Hashem b'tzura meshugat. I'm still serving God in the craziest of ways. B'tzura shafilu yoter amuka, maybe even in a deeper way. בפורים אנו מגיעים לדרגה הגבוהה כשאנחנו לא יכולים לעמוד ולא יכולים ללכת. Purim, we reach the highest level when we can't stand, we can't walk. אבל אנחנו עדיין העבדים הכי גדולים של השם, but we're still the greatest servants of God. So, מה קורה, now again, it could be that Reb Shlomo said these Torahs on Purim, and maybe that's why they're not so easy to understand always, right? But the last paragraph that we just read, the way I'm understanding it is as follows. Did it ever happen to you that you see somebody that's really doing well, doing mitzvahs, and you say to yourself, well, yeah, if I would have had the same circumstances as this person, I would also be sitting and learning, I would also be doing mitzvahs, I would also be serving God. But what can I do? I didn't get the same opportunities. Why are you smiling? It's the thoughts crossed your mind sometimes in the past, right? Is there anybody that never had that thought? Right? It's like, good, poor me, I've got all the excuses in the world, right? If I was a different personality, if this didn't happen to me in elementary school, if that wouldn't have happened, if my father only would have bought me a pair of skates when I asked him to, then I would certainly have sat down and learned that. What's the point? What he's saying is that some people think, oh, when I'll be able to walk, when I'll be able to do this, when I'll be able to do that, then I'm going to really serve Hashem. Then I'm going to really be a servant of God. Okay? When I'll have this, when I'll have that, then I'll be able to sit down and I'll have the time to sit and learn and so on and so on. And what if I can't? What if I don't get those things? What if I don't? What if those things are not fulfilled? Right? So usually I use those as an excuse for doing as poorly as I'm doing. Purim, I realize, forget excuses. Forget, maybe I can't learn as well as you do. Maybe I can't do as much as you do. But in whatever situation I'm in, I could mamish be the biggest servant of God. I could be the biggest servant of Hashem right where I'm at. Whether I'm on the floor or whether I'm standing or whatever it is, forget about excuses. You can be the biggest servant of Hashem right now. And in fact, all the things that are, so to speak, you think are not right in your life, those are actually the greatest opportunities to be the biggest servant of Hashem. Okay? So, what happens when you're drunk? You have strange imagination. Demyon kadosh. Sorry. The holiest characteristic that God gave us is imagination. Dimyon kadosh, holy imagination. Right? בפורים אנחנו משתכרים, פורים we get drunk, ואנחנו ממש מדמיינים את הדברים הקדושים, and we imagine the holiest things in the world. אנחנו מדמיינים שאין רע בעולם, we imagine that there's no more evil. זו הדרגה הגבוהה ביותר ששיכור יכול להגיע אליה, that's the highest level that a drunkard can get to. Now, Reb Shlomo's, make a note because in terms of the reading, this is where we're stopping, but I just want to tell you this. There's a book called Simple Words. Did anybody ever see it?
Simple Words?
Simple Words. Reb Shlomo, he has 15 talks or essays, and each of them is on one word. There's an essay on, there's a talk on the word love and friendship and so on. One of them is on masks, which is obviously all about Purim. Okay? The amazing thing about Reb Shlomo is that he can give a whole lecture and he won't even mention once that he's quoting from the Baal Shem Tov and from this and from that, because he's doing it for the general public. But it's like mamish is such brilliant, amazing Hasidus that he's teaching. Anything that you can get your hands on to read from Reb Shlomo, absolutely do it. So he says that one way of distinguishing between human beings and all other creatures is that all creatures have masks. But what makes the human being distinct is that we have more masks than any other creature, and we change them more frequently than any other creature. Okay? And he goes into the whole thing about masks. And when you start thinking about the fact that basically what I see now is is a particular mask of yours at this given moment. You see me, this is the mask that I'm wearing right now, right? So he goes into the whole thing about doing this exercise, which we've discussed more than once. It's like, imagine you're standing in front of a mirror and you say, okay, let's take off this mask. And then what do you see underneath this mask? Another mask. Okay, let's take that one off. Let's take that one off. And eventually you're going to come to finding your real self, okay? Which is your neshama. Now, he makes the point there, and I won't go into the development of it, but right now he says like this. There's certain masks that when you wear them long enough, they become part of you. They're no longer a mask, right? It might be that today we learned that, that it's a really nice thing that when somebody comes to your door to say, oh, I'm happy to see you, welcome, it might be that the next time you're going to do that, it might be on the level of a mask, right? But if that's what you want to achieve, and you want to achieve that level of being that way, the more you'll do it, the more it'll become you. And it'll be you. It'll really be you. Okay? So there's an aspect of Purim where put on the mask of the you that you wish to be. Right? In other words, think of a couple of years ago, like Sippy organized an event called the Purim and Shemayim or something like that, or Purim and Olam Haba, remember? Right? Like, sort of, like the idea was, like, imagine yourself in your highest self and dress yourself up that way to convey that highest aspect of your being, right? That's, they're coming in on their own. And wear the mask of what you would like to be, and you can, so there's, and he quotes the Gemara says, yeah, and he quotes the Gemara that Gemara says that if somebody pretends to be poor and they go around and asking for money because they're pretending that they're so poor that they'd have no choice but to ask for money. See, Gemara says that tragically they're not going to die before they're so poor that they're going to have to ask for money. So somebody asked the tzaddik, and what if somebody pretends to be a tzaddik and he's not really a tzaddik? So the tzaddik said it's going to be the same punishment. He's not going to die before he's going to be a tzaddik. If you think that being a tzaddik is such an easy job, you have a surprise coming in your way. But the point is that if you want to be a tzaddik and put on the mask of being a tzaddik, go ahead. Put on the mask of what you'd like to be. Right? Put on the mask of what you'd like to be. And that eventually will become part of you. So if you want to put on the mask of Adl Lo Yada, so be aware that the day after Purim or the 2 days after Purim, for a lot of people, is not easy because it's quite a letdown because Purim, everybody's so friendly and so loving and so this. And then you go out into the street the next day and it looks like, where did it go? Where did it disappear to? So people get really upset and begin to think, was it real or is it not real? It was real. It is real. It was real and it is real. It's just that you got a taste of what it could be like. And then after Purim, we got to work to make it, to anchor it, to make it really real on a regular daily basis. But the one time, the one moment, the 1 hour, the one suited that you got to experience that was definitely real. Okay. So let's be blessed that we shouldn't want to make any more excuses for ourselves, and just to realize that mamish, right where I'm at right now, we can be the highest. We can be that. We can be the highest. We can be the best. We can do all those things. Shkoyach, let's try to start on time tomorrow. Okay.